part 2 of the CBR 900RR 1993 mild restoration. Part 1, if you haven't seen that, go check that out. In this part, obviously I got the bike apart now, and done quite a bit of work to it since you last saw it in the previous video. For one, obviously got the tank off and some of the body work. You can see the old camshafts there. So those are the California camshafts, which are actually smaller than the 49 state camshafts, which I said in the previous video. So the 49 state ones are now in there. And I also checked the valve clearance, and that's all good to go now too in factory spec. It's hard to see, it's obviously underneath the valve cover there, but trust me, I did that. And yeah, just had a bunch of the factory smog equipment that was on here. I took that off. I'll show you what it looks like. We're so lucky here in California to get all this stuff, let me tell you. So this is what comes on our California bikes. And all this stuff right here, along with the smaller camshafts, has been proven on a dyno to make about 10 horsepower less than the 49 state factory model. So in this, it's really not that light. So this right here is actually metal, this canister. And obviously that's metal too. So, you know, this is probably around 4 pounds right there. That's probably about 2 or 3 pounds there. So, you know, just right there, you've already shaved about 6 or 7 pounds just with that stuff there. On a bike, every pound actually makes a good difference. So with that, some of those tubes go to the top there. If you can see those, where the studs are sticking out. So there's 4 flanges. They're air injection tubes, which go to the carbs. So I've already ordered the block-off plates. I was lucky enough to find a company that still makes the block-off plates for these things. So I think they're the only company still in existence that makes the block-off plates. Those should be here on Monday. I can put those on. And carburetors. So in the 49 state, carburetors are different. These are the 50 state, which have all of these lovely vacuum lines coming out of them. So right there in the side, in between the carbs. It's hard to see in there, but yeah, they're all in there. And so those will be getting removed and capped off. And actually these are the same carburetors essentially as the 49 state models, same jet size and everything. They just have the added holes in the side for the vacuum lines. So once you plug those up, basically it'd be the same thing as 49 state. Same size butterflies, 38 millimeter. It's that same jet size and everything from the factory. So I've already taken out all the jets and soaked them overnight in carb cleaner and cleaned them out. Now they're clean as a whistle. Make sure they're clean. You hold them up to a light and you can see right. You should be able to see right through them. If you can't see through them, then they're still blocked, obviously. Force some compressed air through there too and blow out all the stuff. So make sure you do have a open jet, because especially the pilot jet, so that's or the idle jet, this one right here, the hole that goes through that is so small, and can't really capture it with the camera, but you can see the main jet, the hole in that one. But the idle jet, the hole's so small you can't even fit a needle through there. So you can imagine how easily it gets clogged up. And if it clogs up, well, guess what? Your bike's probably not going to start or idle at all. So that's all done. I also removed the air screws, the pilot air screws, and those were a little bit gummy, and cleaned those up and put new O-rings on there because the factory ones were dried up. And these are adjustable, so from the factory they have like a weird, like a D shape cut out to it, and you're supposed to buy, see that one you can see better, you're supposed to buy the factory adjustment tool. Well, hardly anyone does that. You're going to buy a special tool when you can just use a hacksaw blade, and basically you can just cut through it and add a little slot to it, and then just use a conventional screwdriver to adjust them. And what that does is, so the more turns they have out, the leaner the carburetors are when they are from idle to around 4,000 RPM. So to adjust them, factory setting is 2.5 turns out from the bottom of the seating position. So I've already screwed them out 2.5 turns, and you're supposed to dial them in once you get the bike running. There's a method to it. I won't get into that. It's kind of long, but usually it gets you pretty close to get them 2.5 turns out. So at least the bike will run like that, and should be pretty close, like I said. The float bowls got some varnish in them, so I clean them out. They're nice and clean now. Same with the floats. The floats are good. And one thing you can do, sometimes the floats get cracks in them and they stop working. So if this doesn't go up and down with the fuel level, well, your bike's going to run like crap. So what you can do is test to see if the float is actually good. I already did this just before I started recording, but you can put some water in a bowl and just see if the float floats, right? So submerge it, push it under. Should be no air bubbles coming out of it, and make sure it floats on both sides. And all my floats are good, so that means I don't have to replace those, so that's good. But these though, these are the float needle valves, and so those actually open and close and allow fuel into the float bowl area. These are no good, so as I was cleaning them, they actually start falling apart. You can see the pieces there. Don't mind the O-rings, but those other pieces are pieces of the actual rubber tip. Like this one's still okay, but that one's still alright. But then this one fell apart. So if that doesn't seal properly, it's just going to flood out that carburetor. So I've already ordered new float needle valves. Should be here in a few days. And after I get those, I can put the rest of the carbs back together. I'm also going to get new rubber boots. So don't skip that when you take apart your carbs. Make sure that these rubber boots are nice and soft. These are not. These are the original ones, and they are rock hard. After a while, the rubber vulcanizes with heat cycles, and it gets really hard. And after that, they don't seal as well. And also, they're a lot harder to put on and remove from the engine. So they're not cheap. I think it's like 50 bucks for a set of 4. Probably a little bit more these days, but just to ensure you don't have any leaks, vacuum leaks, which can play havoc on how your engine runs. And also just ease of install of the carburetors. I recommend replace those whenever you or at least test them out to see if they're still good when you pull your carbs off. So I still have to pull the tops off the carbs and check the vacuum diaphragms. There's the needles inside there. You see how it comes back down like that? So that's what they should do. That means it's got good vacuum. See that one? Oh, that one's okay. It was sticking a little bit. So what I'll do is once I pull them apart, I'll give them a good cleaning. What else? Oh, might have noticed I replaced the windshield or the windscreen. So gone is that gaudy red windscreen that was on there. So looks much better. Looks like it should with the clear one. I got rid of the handlebars here. Got rid of the carbon fiber face that was on there, and luckily it was just an overlay, so that came right off to reveal the factory foam, which is in excellent condition. And what else? I replaced the grips, so these are the factory. I got brand new factory OEM grips, and I cleaned everything out in the linkage, in the throttle tube, and the cables, and now it's nice and smooth. As before, it would stick, especially when you get to the 3/4 throttle. It wouldn't come back. So it's nice and smooth now. And I think that's about it for this bike. I've also been working on my other one, so juggling 2 projects is always fun. At least they're the same bike, so you know it's good to have one as reference to compare to the other in case you forget how something goes. This bike here, I'm actually putting a new clutch in it. The other one was slipping after 8,000 RPM when I test rode it last week, so this Barnett clutch got good reviews. It's a little stiffer than stock. It holds more power, so I'll probably be putting that in today as well. As soon as I get those carbs back on, like I said, and get the tank cleaned out, we can start it. Well, actually, no, I wouldn't do that because I still got to change the oil. I got oil, Honda Genuine oil coming for this thing in the mail, and I got a new oil filter, and so I swapped the coolant. And after that, yeah, should be ready to go to start up and tune up. So I'll have to sync the carburetors, check the sync on them, and maybe adjust the air screws to get everything good. And I've already swapped the muffler over from the other bike, so now the other one has the Yoshimura. And oops, actually gave it a good polish, so now it's looks like new again. It was pretty tarnished and needed good buffing before I put it on there. And also aligned the right turn signal, as that one was a little sagging a little bit, and this turn signal here in the front was actually busted, and the guy had bought a new housing, OEM Honda housing, and so luckily, since I had that, I just threw that on there, and so now it's good as new to the other side. So oh, I swapped out the fender too, so it's got the factory fender back on there. It's a little dusty now because it's been sitting, but I still need to give it a little bit more of a polishing. I gotta touch up these little chips right here. It's like rock chips or something, but other than that, yeah, it's come together. I'm happy with the progress, and stay tuned for another video coming within the next week or so. And still got to also bleed the brakes. This brake fluid is pretty old. This looking like some iced tea. It shouldn't be that dark. Same with the back. So once we bleed that, our brake system will be good, hopefully. And yeah, that's about it, guys. It's more cleaning to do and more assembly, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching.